changing gears to another fight card coming up, right? So we got the co-headline, the Shakur, Stevenson, William Zepeda, Edgar Berlanga, Hamza Sheeraz, the controversy over who's the main event. I think it's the Berlanga Sheeraz fight, but nevertheless,
Yeah.
right? One of the earlier fights on the card, David Morrell versus Imam Katev. A fight I was looking forward to. I think Katev is like 10-0 with 9 knockouts. Morrell, obviously, we know what Morrell can do, but that fight is in jeopardy, I heard, because of adverse findings. Katev got caught with, you know, the name of the drug. It's supposed to help women be more fertile, but you told me in the past that it has another use. What's the clomiphene, something?
Clomiphene, yeah. Clomiphene, which Conor Ben also got caught using as well. And I know they use it to mask other PEDs. It's supposed to be some type of substance that can boost testosterone levels because women use it during pregnancies. A whole bunch of jargon and scientific variables that I'm not, privy to. But what I do know is he tested positive. It is a banned substance, and now it begs the question: has this been enhancing his punching power, or because he's known for his physical strength and his punching power? Right, he had 100% KO ratio until his last fight. So now it's like, oh man, he got caught. Now it's like, was he really as good as people made him up to be up until this point? So it is unfortunate though for David Morrell. Like I don't know. I know you mentioned that you don't know the status of the fight, but more than likely they'll probably find a replacement. So
I hope so.
kind of
I
go from
hope so.
there.
I want to see Morrell back in action. I want to see how he looks after the Benavidez fight. And I was actually looking forward to seeing in what I think could be like a firefight, right?
Yeah.
Throw the defense to the win. Let's see who's the bigger, badder man. So I was interested in seeing that. But talking about throwing the defense to the win, Subriel Matias is on the card as well. Subriel Matias is going against Alberto Puello.
Puello.
Puello. That's a good fight, bro.
Great fight, bro.
If I'm not mistaken, it's such a good fight. The odds have it even as minus 112 each. So for each of them, you'd have to bet $112 to win $100. And I'm sure you guys understand how sports gambling work. I'm not here to give a tutorial, right? But that's crazy, right? So technically,
Yes.
there's no favorite right now from the last I checked. So I want to hear from your standpoint. Who are you favoring in that fight and why?
I have Subriel Matias stopping Puello in the
Mm,
late rounds. I would say between the rounds 9 and 11. But if I had to choose a round, I'm going to go round 10.
mm. Interesting. Why? What makes you lean that decision that way?
I feel like I'm leaning this way only because I feel like the last fight with Liam Paro, I was like, it kind of showed some holes in Matias's game, which shows that, you can outbox him if you have the, I would say, durability and you have the volume, right? Puello's a good boxer, especially the way he kind of handled Gary Antoine Russell. I was impressed by his boxing ability, but his last outing, I wasn't really as impressed. I felt like he lost his last fight,
Mm,
and coming into the fight with Sabrina Matias, you're gonna need to throw a lot more punches with a guy like that. And Matias is gonna, he's really gonna come in, and I feel like he's more motivated, right? There's a lot more at stake for him. He's getting another opportunity. He lost in his last when he lost to Liam Paro, was at his hometown. It was a lot at play. I felt like he learned a lot from that fight. And I feel like coming into this fight, he's definitely he's gonna look to do some damage. So that is just the physicals along with the volume. I think it's gonna overwhelm Puello's boxing ability, right?
mhm.
Especially when you're trying to counterpunch. Sometimes if you have a bunch of punches still coming at you after you counterpunch, it's not Puello's a huge puncher as well, so there's nothing really stopping Sabrina Matias from coming forward. You know what I mean? So we'll have to see. Not saying Puello don't have a chance, he does, but I'm going Sabrina Matias with drowning in the 10th round.
Interesting, interesting. And I like Matias, right? I like his style, rugged, come forward. But I think Puello has more than a chance in this fight. I actually have Puello winning this fight.
Mm-hmm.
So
How you got to
it
win it?
decision. I think he's
Okay.
going to counter. I think he's going to counter Matias all night. I think that reach, the length. I think you're right in the sense of I don't think he's going to hurt Matias too much, but I think he's going to hit and evade, right? Similar to the Gary Anton Russell. Gary Anton Russell was aggressive in coming forward, trying to get
Right.
him, and he just couldn't. The style was a bit awkward for him. The length would get to him. He just
Hmm.
beat Gary Anton to the punch all night.
Hmm.
Now, yes, the Sandor Martin fight was a close one, but I think the tough thing about Sandor is he's a counterpuncher. So
Hmm.
now I think naturally he was making Puello kind of fight out of his comfort zone because Puello is also kind of a counterpuncher. So when two counterpunchers fight, somebody has to go first, right? And
Hmm.
I think Sandor Martin was never going to go first, so Puello took the initiative. I think in this fight he's going to be able to be a counterpuncher because Matias is going to be coming for him all night. So I think he's going to be more naturally comfortable countering and boxing Matias. And I, like I said, the reach, the movement, because Matias, right? Not that he doesn't have one punch power, but it's more so like a snowball effect. He comes downhill. I don't think Puello's going to be stationary for long enough to really let him get that work off.
Yeah, it's just it's like you said. It's like Matthias doesn't throw all punches hard. That which makes him so dangerous because he's just throwing punches. And then like he's good at cutting off the ring too. Like he's fought boxes, and then he's more familiar with fighting southpaws too. Like I think the last 8 of his opponents were southpaws. You know what I mean? 8 out of 9, something along those lines. So he's very familiar with fighting southpaws. So I feel like I feel like all that experience is definitely going to help. But it's going to be a good fight because I can see it definitely going either way. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
Puello, I feel like Puello wins. It would have to be a decision. I don't see him knocking out Matias, even though anything
Yeah,
can happen. But yeah, that's kind of where I have it, and I definitely see where you have it. So I'm excited to see what happens more than anything.
yeah, that's a good fight. I was probably most excited to see that fight on the whole card. To be honest with you,
Oh, for real?
yes,
Oh,
I thought
okay.
it was the most 50-50 fight in my personal opinion.
Yeah, yeah. I think it is the most 50-50 fight, but I'm more curious to see the next fight that you're probably going to be bringing up next.
Okay, okay, okay. The main event, main event, somewhat main event, whatever it is, the Shakur Stevenson versus William Zepeda alleged shrinking ring. First
Yes.
things first, how the hell do you shrink the ring during a fight?
I kept seeing that, and I'm like, this got to be fake, or this because it's just how do you? I've never seen it done before, and why would you take the chance now? And I mean, New York, they have taken chances, right? But shrink it every round, I don't know about that. I think they'll keep it one size for the duration of the
Okay,
fight. I don't think they would. It just doesn't make sense. You
bro,
know what I mean?
I don't put the technology past Turkey Ala Sheikh. Bro,
Yeah, Tucker Ali Sheik is probably one of those people that be like, let's do it. Like he probably came up with the idea, let's shrink. And they're like, bro, it's not possible. Within the minute the bell rings, bro, you gotta like get a whole team to like get it's not. They probably told him, bro, it's not possible. He's like, no, we can do it. He
yeah,
probably don't even realize. I would have put it past him for trying or attempting to do it, but I don't see how that would be possible.
it's probably possible because he probably did this.
A
Blank check,
check,
make it
make
happen.
it happen. I'm crazy.
Make it happen. But
Oh.
Shakur Stevenson, William Zepeda. I'll personally go first. Prediction here. I don't think it matters what size the ring is. Unless it was a literal phone booth, I think Shakur is going to outbox William Zepeda. This is my personal opinion. I understand Zepeda's record says he has punching power. He does have punching power, but I don't think
It's not like that. Yeah, it's
it's not
not.
like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It is like he can punch, but I don't think he's cracking. You know what I
Nah, he's
mean?
not crack. He don't have the retarded roly punching
Oh,
power. He don't
yeah,
got
yeah,
the accuracy, big puncher and Tank David. He just don't he's not one of those.
yeah,
I
yeah.
agree 100%. Like I don't really give him a shot. It's just in what form of fashion will Shakur winning is what I'm more
Yeah.
curious about,
So
right? Is he gonna punish Zepeda like he mentioned, right? So
I said I don't think he's gonna punish Zepeda. And this is all assuming his hands hold, right? I can
mhm.
see the fight. I think we've mentioned this in the past. Even though I think Zepeda will do better than this person, I think it can be reminiscent of the Oscar Valdez fight, right? He was picking out Oscar Valdez apart, but I don't necessarily know if Oscar Valdez was punished physically. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
I can see him just out
yeah.
significantly outboxing him. like, and I know you like Zepeda. I think you like Zepeda more than this person, but I personally think Floyd Schofield's a tougher fight than William Zepeda because he's just more awkward. I think he's more awkward. I think Zepeda's just gonna be picture perfect for Shakur Stevenson to pick apart. I think you're gonna have to give Shakur some weird looks, some things that he just, you know what I mean, gotta come with like kind of like football style, like, yo, I'm about to tackle you, you know what I'm saying? Just you have to make him uncomfortable. And I just don't personally see Zepeda doing anything to make him uncomfortable enough to win this fight.
Yeah, I would say Floyd Schofield definitely has power in his favor. And I think, you know me, I always say if you got the physicals behind you and you already kind of got the skill, someone is way superior in skill, but don't have, bro, you got a good shot. Like I feel like if you got punching power, that can take you a long way in boxing. It's just
Mhm.
sometimes people lean into the punch power too much. So he is more dangerous than Cepeda. But I don't think he's as experienced compared to Cepeda, regardless
Yeah.
of how Floyd Schofield looked in his last fight. And I feel like Zepeda's volume is what makes Zepeda dangerous, but
Mhm.
just doesn't really crack hard enough. And I can see the fight going in a direction where Shakur starts treating Zepeda. You know, if Zepeda's not careful, you start treating him like Padley in the late rounds. To be quite honest with you, I can definitely see that happening. But I just don't see Zepeda. Yeah, I don't give Zepeda no chance. I'm just more curious about seeing how Shakur looks, right? Because you talked up this game. You say he was going to sit and fight, which I don't
Mhm.
think he's going to do initially. I think as the rounds progress, I believe Shakur may sit and bang with him at certain points, right? Like, you know how he kind of like treated Jamel Herring, you know, even Oscar Valdez in the pocket sometime or the Padley, right? Like he in there, like, you don't got nothing in your punches. I'm a slip, boom, counter. I'm gonna just hit you right in close range with you, mid range, close range. I'm gonna be there with you. I can see that definitely happening in this fight, but you
Yeah.
know, I'm not really too high on Zepeda. You know what I mean? So because I
Okay.
felt like he lost that first fight against Tevin Farmer, and then got that robbery, and then in the second fight was a close fight too. So I'm not too big on Zepeda.
So we both have Shakur winning the fight, but let me ask you, if Zepeda was to win, what does he have to do to win this fight?
Man, he has to just show us a level of IQ, and this is barring any injuries on Shakur's end, right? Like if he hurt himself in the fight and then he went, I don't really count that. But Cepeda will have to come in with a level of veracity and a level of IQ we've never seen before. He's
Mhm.
going to have to really not only, cut off the ring really effectively, but he's going to have to take a page out of Maidana's book, right? Like when you get Shakur in range, you push him back. You make sure don't make him twirl you around. Like you cut him off, you break him off, get a little rough with him, start using your forearm, attack the body, pin him down at certain points like a pincher. Like he has to bring it to Shakur and be willing to take punches to exchange. Punch in between while Shakur's punching. That's easier said than done because Shakur to me has arguably the best reflexes in boxing. So, but that's the
Yeah.
only way I can see him kind of winning the fight, making it ugly and
Yeah.
winning the decision.
My Donna's a good example. I was thinking about making the fight ugly as well, but I was just gonna say like, yo, you just gotta leave it all out there. You gotta know that you're the tougher, stronger person. Say, listen, I'm gonna take one to give one, and I would just say, high
Yeah,
guard, come forward. Whatever you get, this couple stab jabs to the body. Like I would just say, take one to give one. Just leave it all out. You're not gonna win a decision. Personally, I don't think so. So I would just say, leave it all out there. Not as reckless, but go Pitbull Cruise. You know what I'm saying? Just go
but I
after
don't
it.
think you think he could knock. I don't see him doing that. He has a better chance getting the decision than knocking out Shakur. Shakur is not gonna let that happen.
I don't think he's gonna
Definitely
get
not.
if he allows Shakur to fight comfortably to a decision. Nah, I
Oh
think
yeah, comfortably. Yeah,
I,
he
I think
can't make
I think his
comfortably.
best bet is making it up. But I'm saying like I don't think boxing him in the middle of the ring, you're gonna make it
Yeah,
comfortable enough. I think you gotta high guard,
facts.
come in there. Like I said, you might catch some here, but you gotta just bite down, come forward, and like, yo, listen, I'm gonna take one to give one. I
Yeah,
think he has to hit him with something. And granted, we haven't really seen Shakur rocked like that. You know what I'm saying? So, man, he could have a great chin, or his chin could be, you know what I mean? But I would go and do my best to try to test it out.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
That's fair enough.
That that's what I say for Valdez. And going into the main event, this one is tricky as well. Hamza Shiraz versus Edgar Berlanga, but this is taking place at 168 pounds. Shiraz's
Tough
last fight
fight.
was at 160, right? So it, I don't know. I've been back and forth a lot on this fight. Like, who are you favoring going into this fight, right? Shiraz had a draw against Carlos Adames that probably really was not a draw.
It was a gift. He
It was
lost
a
that fight.
it was a
Yeah.
gift, right? Edgar Belanga's last fight wasn't very impressive. He's probably still living off the moral victory of the Canelo fight, right?
Yeah, it's oh my god. Yeah, this fight, I've been going back and forth too, man. That's why I'm like, for me, I think this fight is really to me a 50-50. I think this fight is for me is in the same bracket as the Puello and Matias in that sense of who would win. Right
Mhm.
now, and I went back and forth. I had Hamza 1 week, Berlanga 1 week. Right now, I'm leaning towards Berlanga, if I'm
Okay.
being honest. I just with Hamza Shiraz, I was just not impressed with his last performance. And then on top of that, he's moving up in weight. They did mention he was injured. He has punching power, but just his movement, how sluggish he looked, I just didn't like. I felt like he wasn't as confident going to the Carlos Adames fight.
Some
Maybe
people are
confidence
saying he's
was
going to
there.
be stronger at 168, if that means anything to you.
Yeah, but you could be stronger, but you could be slower, right?
Mhm.
You could be more flat-footed, right? Is usually pros and cons when you're just moving up directly in weight, unless you're killing yourself to make that weight. But prior to the Carlos fight, he was looking good. But I mean, I don't know. I'm leaning towards Berlanga winning this fight. And you know what? I'm gonna just go off a cliff. I got Berlanga by KO.
Mm.
I got Berlanga by KO in this fight. Only because I don't have no horse and I really don't care. But I got Berlanga going by winning by KO. I think he stops Hamza Shiraz. And I'm
And
not even big on Berlanga like that. Berlanga's not even good to me, but
yeah,
Hamza proved me wrong.
yeah, I'm gonna have to like you. I've been going back and forth on this fight a lot. I've been looking at the Carlos Adames fight. Berlanga doesn't fight like Adames, right? But I was been thinking about Shiraz's length. But I mean, how tall is Berlanga? Probably about 6 feet, 6'1", somewhere in that vicinity.
He's like, yeah, like 6'1". Yeah, he about 6'1", 6'2",
I
maybe.
think Shiraz is 6'3", so I don't think he's going to be towering above Berlanga. Um, Slinky build, Berlanga's more put together, in my opinion. I don't know. Maybe Shiraz has power. Maybe
Maybe not. Like,
maybe not. Berlanga was able to withstand a lot in the Canelo fight. I could see I could see Shiraz getting a little bit of work off, but I could see Berlanga coming forward and hurting him. And I can see him stopping him, but I'm gonna say he wins a decision.
okay.
Shiraz might touch the canvas, and there might be like a 10-8 round that really puts it in Berlanga's favor. I'm actually gonna go Berlanga as well. I think he's just gonna be the bigger, stronger guy, the
Yeah.
more battle tested when it comes to having a durable chin, and I think he will do that thing that I'm asking William Zepeda to do. Sometimes saying, you know what, whatever, gloves up, I'm coming for you.
Yeah, 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 and hopefully, and this the thing that does worry me about Belong. Hopefully, he's not overlooking Hamza Shiraz and not
Yeah,
like drowned in the Canelo after effect. Like, I went 12
yeah.
rounds with Canelo. I'm that guy. This is my city. Like, he's the exuberance, right? Like the ego doesn't
Mhm.
overwhelm him. But we have to see, man. We have to see. But yeah,